Hello, and good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Lakisha Lockhart, and I teach Christian education at Union Presbyterian Seminary. And I am so excited to have you here this evening for our Canon Conversation, which is a series with the Katie Genevieve Cannon Center for Womanist Leadership at Union Presbyterian Seminary, where we recognize the significance of centering Black women's scholarship as viable sources and resources for theological education. Canon Conversation is a fairly new webinar series that was launched by the director, Melanie Jones Quarles, who is currently on sabbatical. Keep resting, sis. We got you when you get back. And that is all things womanist wisdom to support and encourage new titles, writers, and womanist ideas. And I am beyond excited to have none other than Sharifa Stevens with us to discuss her newest book, When We Talk to God, Prayers and Poems for Black Women. And I want to tell you all the things about her. So, Sharifa, sit back and listen to all these things.
I'm gonna dab my eye while you do it because y'all had me laughing so hard and then went live. So
you're welcome in advance. So let me tell you all about Sharifa. Sharifa Stevens is a brilliant speaker, singer, and writer, and aspires to use writing as a vehicle that moves readers to intersect with the sacred and the honest. She considers herself a conglomeration of intersections, Bronx wisdom and a prep school code switching, smoke shop now and laters, and church peppermints, hip hop, and hymns. I mean, that just spoke to my whole soul. I just want you to know that. Sharifa is the daughter of Jamaican immigrants born and raised in New York. She graduated from Columbia University in New York with a bachelor in African American studies before earning a master in theology from Dallas Theological Seminary. In 2025, she published When We Talk to God, Prayers and Poems for Black Women, a collection of accessible writing that addresses topics from foundation matching to work ambition to abortion. In 2024, she co-authored Only Light Can Do That, 60 Days of MLK Devotions for Kids with Lisa Creighton, which in 2025 became a finalist for the Christian Book Award. Sharifa also contributed to the books Vindicating the Vixens, Revisiting Sexualized, Vilified, and Marginalized Women of the Bible, and Rally, Communal Prayers for Lovers of Jesus and Justice. Welcome, Sharifa.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like it's one of those things that are like, pew, 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 pew. You know, I just see like some background sounds for you. But in case you all are wondering, here is what her book looks like, and we're about to dig into this.
We'll both do it.
Yes, both do it together, and we're about to have an amazing conversation. So please feel free to go in the comments. Let us know where you're coming from, where are you joining us from. Yeah, are you in Virginia? Are you not? Are you somewhere else? Let us know where you're at. We're excited to have you here. And with that, we are going to jump in because this time will fly before you know it, Sharifa, and then we'll be done. So I need to get all the things because this is an amazing. I don't think I've said it enough. But just the prayers and poems that are so real, that are so honest, for all occasions in life, from whether you drop your phone and it didn't break, alopecia. I mean, literally, all the things are covered. So let's talk about it. So how did you come to write this book? And like, just tell us about the journey of how this came into being. Also, hello to someone from Dallas. Hey, Dallas.
Hey, Dallas.
I know someone coming from Dallas. It says unwritten 4XQ. Good to see you. All right, but go ahead. So yes, how did this book come to be?
Well, there are two answers to that question. So the technical answer is that God is sovereign in my life. And so when there was a week where a friend of mine texted me and said, I would really like a resource of prayers for a friend of mine who's going through a rough time. And I want that prayer book to be catered to Black women specifically. So do you have any resources for that? And at the time, I didn't have an answer, especially because her friend was experiencing complications in birth, in pregnancy. And, there are resources for that, but not that center Black women. Right. And the following week, I had been doing some editorial work for a publishing company, and they said, we're looking to write a book of prayers for Black women specifically. Would you be interested? And I said, okay, Lord, that's you. Mm-hmm. I can't say no. But the longer, and hi from Charlotte and from Cincinnati.
Yes. Hello.
The other answer is no, I have been writing since I was 8 years old. Like I remember getting the Hello Kitty diary when I was 8 years
Little
old.
kitty. Oh,
Yes, right? With a little lock on it.
good luck. Mhm.
So I had been writing to process since I was 8 years old.
Mm.
And some significant things happened to me at 8. It was a really tough year. It was the year my father was incarcerated. So writing was an oasis for me um, at a time that was incredibly confusing.
Yeah.
And so the writing was not, it wasn't academic, it wasn't for a grade, it wasn't to impress someone. The writing was an appeal, it was processing. And I think that I had never thought about that until now, but
Mm.
I think that um, the salvation and refuge that came from writing has, and honesty that came from it has been a through line up till now.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And hello, we got a hello from Memphis. Somebody's from Memphis is here.
Hi,
Hello, hello. So knowing that writing has kind of been, like you said, this refuge for you, and your through line, can you also talk a little bit about this beautiful cover?
oh, I would love to talk
I
about.
mean, what influenced it? I mean, as well as the title. Although I feel like from the poems, I can tell you it's like Black women talking to God, so I see more of that. But
Yes.
the cover, the title,
Oh,
how did
shoot.
that there?
There are some elements of it that I especially love. I love the variety of skin color. I love that there are such rich browns represented. I love the beauty and dignity of the cover. The color was really important. The fact that it was vibrant is important because we love color and color loves us.
It right?
Not only that, it's gilded, and there aren't too many covers that I've seen that have gold involved in the spine on the cover. Uh, there's such a royal allusion to that gilded cover, and we deserve, and
Right?
we don't get it enough.
Mm.
I did not. I'm not an artist. The artist who did this and did the work within it, her name is Camila Rue.
Shout
And
out Camila.
as much as we can, let us shout out Camila because she did that. Um, she was the first interpreter of the book. So the imagery that you see inside, she was one of the first people to read the book and interpret it visually. And I might be answering another question, but
No, please. I know we got questions. We'll flow it.
like,
Please,
oh,
this is a conversation.
thank you, Sandra.
The cover is beautiful. Jamie says that the cover is beautiful. It feels warm and alive. Let me grab this book real quick. Please do. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it is so vibrant, and I feel like this is a beautiful representation of who we are. I think that a lot of times Black women, you know, when it comes to spirituality, there could be a real swing low, just kind of
Yeah.
we're in the doldrums, or no, it just. I think what I appreciate about my own cover is that this locates us in creation. It's in creation. It's not relegated to a specific structure because we can talk to God in our places of worship,
Mhm.
and we can talk to God wherever we see fit to speak. So I love that Camila interpreted this to bring us outside of home walls and church walls and put us right into creation.
Mm. I love that. I think it's so beautiful. Also, hello, we have William Dixon from Virginia. View you. Hello, hello, welcome,
Hi.
welcome. Um, all right. So, what would you say? And then before this, we're gonna start to dig in. But what would you say is your most significant discovery when you were writing this?
Okay, so
The
Dr.
fa-
Lakisha,
I am here with the facial salon.
significant discovery. Oh my goodness.
But
What?
what spoke to you most as you were writing this? What was like the one thing when you look back, you're like, this is like what in the writing? Because I mean, these are our babies. We're putting these things in the world, and we are so vulnerable. And I feel like I think the language you use, you feel maybe like naked, like right, like it's out
Yes.
here. It's you in such a beautiful way. Was there anything that is kind of this lingering thing that you kind of feel even in the writing process of it?
Well, in the writing process, there are so many aspects of the book that are outside of the time that I had to write it. So like there's a piece that's a double Dutch chant, and that's taking me back to like,
Oh, that's much chant. Oh.
Dr. Lakisha.
No, see, we're tight now. It's just Lakisha now. Now we're here now.
No, but I love using the honorific. I really just love it. Can I just tell you, like,
Feel free. Feel free.
I love calling you doctor, and I will not stop. So anyway,
Thank you.
so the double Dutch chant is like going back to when I was in the schoolyard at 10, 11, 12 years old, right?
Yeah.
There's such, I think it's fascinating. The biggest discovery for me was not during the writing. During the writing, there was a process of dignifying my own experience um, as a human, as a theologian, as a person who has struggled in the faith, and also who is absolutely God's favorite. Just
Yes.
so I think the discovery in the book was just honoring that conglomeration of experiences. And I come from a background where my embodied experiences were not always honored or even acknowledged.
Yes.
So it was holy work for me to rehearse that,
Mm.
and rehearse that in the context of God caring and loving, caring for and loving me, embodied.
Yes.
And I, yeah, okay. So I could go all over the place because I keep saying embodied because I think that beyond all of the isms that would disregard my experience, my faith, the way God made me, there's also a really important theological factor that I think sometimes we miss, where we really denigrate our bodies or ignore our bodies in favor of the spiritual. And that is not, I'll declare that is not the Christian tradition, because it flies in the face of the creation story itself, of the corporeality of it. It flies in the face of an incarnational God,
Yes.
God who was born, who was right, who was hungry. So embodiment in this discovery journey, I think it was just really important for me to acknowledge that and rehearse that, not only for myself, but for everybody who would read it. But a really huge discovery is happening now, honestly, because this is my first like solo book, and that's to see, like, do people really get it? Do people understand? Is this just me and Hello Kitty? Like,
no, not just Hello Kitty.
But like, because I'm a hermit, which I think I said that before we started recording, that I'm pretty much a happy hermit. I'm not great with social media. I don't discount it at all, but I'm not great with it. But I'm a hermit. So I'm like, am I having a happy hermit experience, or is this something that other people who read this will be able to say, I can relate. Oh, I understand this. And so the discovery is like, oh, so yes.
It is. And I want to speak to that because like I said, I went to a forum. It was like a forum for youth ministry and families in Florida, like last weekend. And I read one of your poems as our opening for the gathering. I read the one, your phone dropped, but it didn't break.
Relatable.
which is believable, but also one of my favorite. Yes, y'all, though she has a poem in here named "My Phone Dropped, but It Didn't Break." Let me tell you about this. But I read it, and it was a mixed group. Like, it wasn't just Black women. It was a very mixed group. And when I tell you the mm-hms and the ooh and the yes, I mean literally just from the room. Please know it is speaking. It is speaking to people. It is speaking to experiences, and like you're putting words to so much of what I think people are feeling and processing, and maybe aren't finding words. Like, you're offering words. And I'm also a very playful person, so even just the humor of it, but the lightness, but also even, and I don't know, I'm trying not to give it away without telling people, but like there's a part in there where you're like, and even though it's broken, it is still here.
Mm-hmm.
I am still here. And I'm like,
mm-hmm.
right, that speaks to that realness. And so I just want you to say, to answer that, and even in your happy hermitness, just know it is people are, it is resonating. That's what I want to know. Like, your words are
Gonna make me cry again.
I mean, yes, and sorry, not sorry. I mean, but just your words are resonating. So I just want you to know that like literally that was last weekend, and it was just a beautiful experience to be able to share something that has spoken to me, and that literally everyone in the room just felt very similarly. So please know,
I'm so honored.
And I hope people in the comments over here, like, it was just me and Hello Kitty in the last that it sounds like for you, even at the age of 8, was a spiritual therapeutic process. And that is what it sounds like. It's so funny. You had Hello Kitty, I had Tweety Bird. So you know what, a similar family. I did little Tweety with the lock too, with the lock. Mm-hmm, with the lock.
I love this. See,
right? I know, because we're here. We're here. I told you. Yes. All right. So you describe the book as an invitation to bring our whole heart and our loudest voice to God with nothing off limits. As I mentioned, even phones, right? We're talking about all the things.
We're talking about anything.
Any of the things, even the hard things like miscarriage. Like we're talking about all the things. What did you have to unlearn in your own prayer life to write with that kind of invitation, right? With so much integrity and honesty?
A few things. I had to unlearn the prohibitive fear of God. I'm not sure how else to put that. I grew up with God as you better do this or else. Mm-hmm. You better talk this way, walk this way, dress this way, or else. Yeah. Kind of God. And I can see there are portions of the Bible where I'm like, well, I see where people get that. I see where it comes from. I don't think they're off. But I come from a place of believing that Jesus is the best representation of God's heart and who God is. Right? And in that, I see in Jesus a person who didn't come to condemn the world, but to save it. And it changes how I talk, knowing that at the end of the day, God just wants a restored relationship. And a relationship, when it's between a person, your kids, your friends, your mom and dad, your partner, a good relationship is so dependent on authenticity and honesty and clear communication
Mm.
and the conflict.
Yes.
So you have to have all of those and be able to um, make your way through those. And it's not different with God.
Mm.
So bringing, like, I had to learn, I don't know if it's unlearning, but I had to learn that I am also in relationship with God. And if I wanted to be close, that I would have to be honest. I would have to tell God when I was disappointed,
Mhm.
angry, as well as joyful, as well as grateful. And so because of the caliber of relationship that I want.
Mhm.
So I had to trade in the fear, the prohibitive fear, for
Mm.
that kind of intimacy um, with God.
Yeah, that's so good. I always, I know, so I have little nuggets, and part of, like, having this conversation of being like, God can handle all of our feelings. Like, if it's a real relationship, I
Yes.
have to trust that God can handle when I'm angry. I
Yes.
can handle when I'm sad, when
Yes.
I'm disappointed, just like when I'm happy, and like having that space to do that. And I feel that in your poems. Like, it's a conversation, it's an interweaving of lament, of all, of all the things. So I'm
Yeah.
grateful for that. I love someone saying the caliber of relationship we want with God. And
Yes.
I think that's it. Like, what kind of relationship do we want? Like, if we just want a surface one, okay, then keep doing what you're doing. Just be surface. But if you want a real, just like with anybody else, you want a real relationship. Like you said, how are we communicating? How are we dealing with conflict? How are we, being honest and authentic to who we are, and allowing that vulnerability? I think that's so good. It's so good. And
And
again, I
God
feel
is
that.
able to regulate. There's some people we talk to them, and we have to kind of manage
Yeah.
how we talk to them, just because we know that they're not quite their shoulders aren't quite
Mhm.
strong enough to hold everything,
Yes.
or they might respond in a dysregulated way.
Hmm. That's not God.
Right. If there is one being out there that we don't have to worry about that for, it's God. God can regulate, and
Amen.
hopefully God can co-regulate.
Right? Co-regulate together too.
Right.
I love that. Absolutely. All right. So in this, you interweave artwork, you interweave poetry and prayer, and use as the vessel for this project.
Yeah.
And what can that blending of forms do theologically that just regular prose cannot do? I mean, I think you used some of the word embodiment earlier, and so I feel like that probably might be a comeback to that. But what do you feel like that interweaving of so much of that does that just writing alone cannot accomplish?
I mean, I think that writing is powerful, and I don't know if this is a theological stance for me. I do know that beauty comes in more than one form, and also education and understanding and revelation and inspiration come in more than one form. I think that prose is beautiful, and at the same time poetry, just like song lyrics, they have a way of piercing through uh, the logic centers, and a good piece of art does the same thing. It bypasses the mere logic sensors, and we love logic, but embodiment involves more than one side of the brain.
Mhm.
And so does understanding. This is part of loving God with our whole everything, not just one hemisphere. And so I think that the book is taking advantage, even with color, with the use of color, is taking advantage of different ways that we as humans take in learning and information and how we receive it, our receptivity to it. When I look at the cover, I don't think I see the words first. I don't know.
I see the people. That's what I see.
Right.
Like,
And the people in conjunction with the words is sending a message that either one by themselves couldn't. I love the confluence.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. So thinking about this, this book touches ordinary Black women's realities, right? From job interviews to braiding hair,
Yes.
to grief, to invisibility, to parenting. You know, I feel like this has recently become my personal favorite: the dropping of the phone.
You do like that one.
I be dropping my phone all the time, so I feel like that really spoke to my spirit.
I wrote that for you. I didn't even know.
Look,
You're welcome.
Times I dropped this phone, and I was just like, Lord, she knew. To dancing, to all these things. How did you discern which everyday scenes or things belonged in this sacred conversation that you wanted to put out with God?
Ooh, see, yeah, that's a really good question. I don't want to give myself too much credit. I poured through the manuscript and then the spirit of the living. So I don't know that that's what happened there. You know, but I did want to again come back to what does the Lord care about when it comes to our lives as Black women, as humans? What does the Lord care about versus what does maybe our larger society say God cares about? And so my skin color, my foundation matching, my hair, my braids being
too tight. I literally got the name of a poem, but like literally in the book. My braids too tight. Okay, go ahead.
But these things, our menstrual cycles, perimenopause, these condition, alopecia, these things that maybe larger society are like, no, be quiet. I wanted to amplify because I don't agree. I don't think that they should be quiet. I think that there was a woman with an issue of blood for 12 years who touched the hem of Jesus's garment and was healed quietly. And then Jesus got loud and said, oh, I need to know who this was. And I need you to know that you belong. And I'm going to call you daughter. I don't know what everybody else has been calling you for the last 12 years, but I will call you daughter. So what she was like, let me just quiet. Jesus made really loud. And so I feel inspired to do the same. And our everyday conversations are going to be, maybe there's going to be some similarities to the biblical text and some differences, but God was dealing with the bodies of women in the scriptures, and I will proceed to deal with Black women's bodies in this book out of honor to the Lord.
I love that. You got to preach in the comments, just so you know.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
So many of the prayers lean into groans, silence, wordlessness as much as it does speech. Like even I'm over here, literally like yes, that is part of it. How do you understand the nonverbal utterance as legitimate and even central practice of Black women's prayer?
I love this question so much. No, like I love that in a book of words, you are able to read nonverbal utterances. and silences. I appreciate that. I think that says a lot about you. I don't know what it says about you. Honestly, that you hear the pauses. And I think that I just find that very profound about you. I think that it's the difference between this knowledge and, say, in the book of First Samuel, where Eli is looking at Hannah praying in the temple, and he can't hear her words, and what he interprets as drunkenness is really fervent prayer, right? So your ability to discern the utterances of the nonverbal utterances, the silences, the sighs, the groans, because they're not, I'm not writing that in there.
That's just intuitive. I'm just like, because it hit. It's like it just hit just right. You're like,
Well done. I'm gonna make this about you. So, because I think that I've always heard that story, read that story, and been like, oh, this man who spends so much time in God's house has so much to learn still about the way a woman prays and what she is praying about and how she delivers those prayers. So I'll refocus on the question, but I think that's very well done, doctor.
A comment says hope in the holler, but also power of the pause.
Hope in the holler. Okay.
I mean, we up here in
the in the hush harbor. In the hush harbor. Yes. Yes. Is that not our tradition? Is that not our tradition? And haven't we had to innovate spiritual technology to be able to pray in the silences and the nonverbal utterances to save our lives?
Right?
Have we not? That is such a talk about the holler. Yes. And don't we come from a tradition with, I mean, how many times does our Lord speak in the nonverbal utterances and the silences? How many times? So this is part of our tradition in the cloud of witnesses, right? This is part of this. It's not always about the words. And you know, Jesus said that. He's like, yeah, y'all be talking with a lot of prayers. And I'm listening to the widow with her 2 mites, and I'm listening to the man who said, God have mercy on me. Right? This I hear that.
Yeah.
The wordiness, I don't know who that's for.
Yeah. Right. Like even I just think about how sometimes even just the wordiness becomes performative.
Yes.
Right. I mean, not necessarily always for us, but just in general. And there's just something about, like you said, just about that pause. And like even, and for me, it was, like I said, I was reading the pauses in this work because I'm just like, the way it was phrased is like, you can't read this and not stop right now. Like you got to let that sink in, let it marinate, let it sit in the spirit, or like let it resonate. And I'm just thinking so much about what that looks like, what that means, and how much that's so much a part of.
We be doing that too. Right? When we're like, girl,
literally just eye contact.
Girl.
Little, so you know, this reminds me of a oh my goodness, I don't know what game show it was, but it was Keke Palmer was trying to talk to someone, I can't remember.
Oh my goodness, password?
Yeah, okay.
And password?
Yes, I think so, because she was trying to get her to guess Titanic.
Yes.
And she was like, okay, the word's Titanic. And she said, girl, Rose. And all of this. And they're like, there's a whole lot of Black conversation that's happening right now. And it's like, because that's exactly what it is. Just thinking about like that's how we are culturally, but also how God speaks to us. It isn't always this verbose. It's like it, right?
Yeah.
Like there's that known, right? When we talk about epistemology, it's like this knowing, this felt sense, this knowing of how we come to know, and the many ways that we come to know each other and God. And I think about
William just talked about that in the comments. He's talking about Elijah and Moses too, right?
Yes.
When it was the still small voice.
Right.
Yes, William.
We here with you. We here with you. All
Yes.
right. All right. And but I'm also looking at our time because I want to try to get you at least answer a couple more questions. Okay. Because we want to know all the things. Okay. So how also you all in a little while we're going to start getting questions from you all, so you can start thinking of the questions you want to ask, start putting them in the comments because I have a couple more to go, and then we're going to turn to some audience questions. All right, so how do you hold together honest lament and heartfelt joy in this book without letting one cancel the other, especially given the ongoing state and interpersonal violence often against Black women in the world? And let's also just mention the world's currently on fire.
Right.
We'll just also throw that in.
It is on fire again. So that's part of how, because it is on fire again. And the scriptures are written to a people who experience the world on fire. I know that there are some folks who have never known smoke, much less fire, who want to just completely disclaim the background of the scriptures, and because to acknowledge that would be to acknowledge a whole lot,
of course,
of what's happening right now. So, but we know the truth. We're all like, y'all are talking about Jesus. He was crucified.
That happened.
He was innocent when he was crucified. So I just am like, listen, this is our base is us, the scriptures that were written about a people who were in the shadow of Babylon, in the shadow of Rome, in the shadow of Persia and Assyria, and survived, and wrote not only laments, but also psalms. Who, I mean, one of my favorite things about the Bible is that it includes the Song of Songs. Like, so it is like the gamut of life. And I wanted my book to be a homage to that gamut, to not only lament, not just swing low. Swing low. We need to sing it.
Yeah.
We need to sing that song. And lift every voice and sing. You know, we need it all. And so I think that joy, to use a cliche, is definitely part of our resistance. It's a cliche because it's true. Joy is ours, and it is indomitable in part because it is self-generated. The people or systems that oppress us cannot touch joy. They can't. They want to. Or they want to manufacture and replicate it. And they can't. AI can't do this.
Not close.
Can't do this. It takes a soul, a connected soul to find that joy and to harness it in the midst of a world on fire. I think it would be a very incomplete, inert representation of Black women who have faith in God to only have one or the other.
Mm.
I would never do us that kind of disservice. And if there's anybody who's reading who maybe is like, I don't even feel like I don't have words. I don't even know how to start this praying thing. The last thing I want to do is give them a book that only talks about one or the other. I just think that's imbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I held it together successfully is up to the reader, but I know that.
I'm gonna give that a yeah. You did. I think it was pretty great. But you know,
Writing
I'll let
it
you
down and
finish.
the impact on my mental health.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yes. Please feel free. I was about to ask you. Because that's apparently unwritten. That's what we'll call that person unwritten.
I want that question to be unpacked a little bit more because I don't want to presume anything about it. Um, but it's like a delicious question, but I want a little bit more.
So unwritten. If you can give us a little bit more around what you mean, like a little bit more, just so she's not making assumptions around mental health or God. If you're going to give us a little bit more directness in that question.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Right? It is. I love that wording, delicious. But in the meantime, we can ask another one while hopefully you give us a little bit more unwritten.
Yeah.
So how do you see this work participating? Oh, wait, hold on, wait, there it goes, there it goes. Does your writing increase your mental health?
Mm. So, real talk, it depends. I think ultimately yes, because I think that writing at the very least is catharsis. It's a release of so much anger or confusion, disappointment, tension. Um, if I'm in a place where my mental health is wavering, it is a faith filled practice to have at least the amount of faith that it takes to verbalize whatever it is that I am going through. It is an act of faith to write it down if I cannot speak it. Because God knows when I'm writing to God. So um ultimately, yes, but sometimes it feels worse um in the moment because catharsis can be really messy. Um, and if I'm writing with tears and the snot, maybe I just, didn't plan on emotional release, and it's really messy. Um, but the reason why it's ultimately good is I do subscribe to the notion that what I want healed, I have to name. I have to
Mm,
what I
mm,
want healed. Um, and so, yes, ultimately, I think it's also important to say that it's only one vehicle of mental health, and there are many vehicles. I am a proponent of medication and therapy and community as well. Um, I don't know that therapy is always a solo project, and mental health. I don't think that that's always a solo project either. So I feel the need to name that too. But unwritten, I think that that is a really good question. And sometimes it feels worse before it feels better. And the vulnerability, and I'm like looking at your question like it's you. So if you see me looking down, that's why. But I think the vulnerability of even writing what I'm feeling can be so hard for me. Um, just opening myself up to maybe an answer or maybe silence is also hard. So I don't want to paint a rosy picture. Like, it's always great and I always get an answer right away and I feel better all the time. Nope. But ultimately, yes, because I believe in the power of honesty and, again, relationship.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I just want to I just want to highlight something you said. What I want healed, I have to name. I just want to make sure we all collectively heard that just one more time, just for the good of the body, one more time.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we have. I think people just kind of echoing some of the things you've already said. We dishonor our relationship and reverence of God when we withhold any part of us. And then William, writing is a great self-care practice as well. Absolutely. So yeah, thank you. Feel free, again, any other questions, feel free to drop them in. And I'm going to keep asking them until you all drop yours, because I have lots. So yeah, because it's a great
we
book.
can just keep talking.
Right. We just keep on going until y'all ask more questions. Okay, so the one I was starting, how do you see this work participating in womanish traditions of talking to God, from ancestral prayers and spirituals to contemporary womanist theologians and poets? Kind of where do you situate you in your work in this?
So another just really humbling question. I couldn't write it. I couldn't write it if it weren't for my grandmother, if it weren't for women whose names I don't know yet on this side, the people in the hollers,
come
on, whose names I will one day know. If it weren't for the shoulders that I stand on, I like I I shouldn't have been in the movie theater when I was 10, but to see The Color Purple, but like that was a formative movie for me, and I still speak. I have a whole conversation in The Color Purple. I can have a whole conversation from not only Alice Walker's beautiful novel, but the work that they did, those actresses did. My seminal, like 10 was a big year too, because that was when I was introduced to Maya Angelou and Toni Morrison. That is when our little class was assigned The Bluest Eye.
Yes.
And I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And we had to memorize Langston Hughes as well. But these.
What class is this that you had to remember this at 10? Like, I want to be in this class. I didn't get introduced to them until like almost an undergrad, which is just.
It wasn't in school.
Okay, there you go. That's all I needed to know. I was like, what school was this? Okay,
it was not in school.
There you go.
Isn't that sad?
It is.
So that's part of the reason why I became an African American Studies major in college, was because of what wasn't in school. Yeah. So, but those women I was exposed to when I was 10, and I was just like, whoa, okay, so these women are writing.
Yes.
And they are writing worlds into existence, but they're also writing themselves into like, I don't know how else, into I don't want to make it too like over dramatic, but it's into eternity. There's a timelessness to their work. There's a timelessness to it. There's such an artistry. There's a masterful use of words that I could never, but I aspire, right? So I'm just like, this is my humble submission, but like, it's because they did it. It's because of my grandmother on her knees in prayer. It's because of my ancestors who survived. It's like, it's just, the cloud of witnesses. I don't know how else to put it. And in womanist theology, there is this continuance of this tradition of, oh no, we're going to name ourselves in this. We're going to put ourselves and name ourselves as authorities in who are just as capable of interpreting whatever it is in of theology, of sociology, of love, of resistance, all of these things. We are not going to wait for someone to name us as capable, but we are going to say that we are capable, and in our agency there's freedom for everyone. And that, so I mean, this is a humble submission to that tradition, so that other people know that their bodies are sacred, that they're beloved of God, and that they are free to speak to the living God, because I use the word he, but God is God, right? That God is accepting of us, not merely tolerating of us. Mm-hmm. That's a meandering answer, but it's just like, I don't know, like I stand on beautiful shoulders, and many of them.
That's beautiful. I mean, me too. So I'm here with you. I'm like, me too. Me too. We have another question. Again, feel free to put your questions in, and we'll probably in another couple of minutes we'll get ready to wrap up. When did you first discover that you were being called to ministry?
When I when I was clearly redirected. so clearly redirected from what I knew was my life path. Like I knew since the time that my dad was incarcerated that what I was going to do was become a lawyer. Like this was obviously the track for me. And then the Lord put people in my life who were like, but have you considered? And I was like, no, absolutely not. I have not considered ministry. Clearly redirected, unread. So, and then God put in my path people like my young adult pastor and folks in my youth group. And I loved volunteering for my church, but I thought that's what I would be doing when I wasn't litigating. So, and then the Lord clearly said, no, you need to just go ahead and apply. And I said, okay, I will, because I'm not getting in with this very secular background and very secular degree. But if I do get in, I'll go.
And then you got it.
What are the chances? But I was just like, Lord, I will follow you wherever you go. And just in my youthful fervor, which was beautiful, actually. Like I'm laughing, we laughing about it, but it was I was willing. And the Lord said, I will take your willing and raise you. So I
love that.
That is that on that, William.
Thank you for asking. Thank you for that. All right, our time is slowly drawing nigh. So I'm going to give you one final question, but before I do, of course, I just want to thank you for making time and space to talk with us, to be with us.
So wonderful.
Thank you all for joining us, for all your great comments. I feel like y'all are cackling with us, and so I love it.
I see the
little emojis. I'm like, yes. They're feeling us, and I'm grateful for all of you just tuning in and being a part of this series. But more than anything, before you give me your last thoughts, I want to thank you for allowing yourself to let this be made flesh in the world. I think it is it's been a gift to me. I'm sure it's been a gift to others. And allowing you to, like you said, that balance of reality, of realness, of lament, of joy, of humor, just of all the things. It just feels so, even though I know it's personal to you, it feels personal to me. And so it just hits different. And I'm grateful. And I just pray so many blessings on this and anything else that you produce after. I will be very excited to look at. So I'm grateful for you and for our time together and for this and this, again, so many prayers on what it does in the world and how it goes out and to you and all the good vibes and energy. And I'm so excited. And so my final question.
I appreciate that.
And so my final question is, what is your enduring hope for this book in the world?
Okay, well, that's the easiest question. My enduring hope is that when someone reads this book, they will come away knowing that they are loved by God and that God is eager to hear from them and that they don't have to be afraid to talk to God.
I receive that. Amen and amen and ashay. To that, may it be so. Amen. All right. If you guys haven't gotten it, please get it. When We Talk to God, you can't miss all this bright beautifulness, this boldness.
Yes.
I hope you're looking in the chat because I'm saying thank you. It is brilliant. Amen. This has been a delight. Thank you. My cup is full.
Thank you.
So
thank
you. Beautiful. That's deep. I mean, thank you, Unwritten. Literally, everybody's out here. So hopefully you are feeling the love right back to you. Yes, get it. Yes, please do. And I mean, if you want to know my current fave is drop the phone. I'm telling you, like that was when I tell y'all the amount of times I dropped this phone, the amount of cases I have had, and the amount of times I thought it was broken, but yet it was still here, and how I feel like that is very reflective just again of just my life. Like no matter all of the bruises and all of the things that happen, I am still here.
Yes, you are.
When I tell you that one spoke to me,
yes, you are.
When I tell you, so I mean that's my current fave. I'm just but as life is gonna life, and I'm sure there'll be another one that might rise too.
Oh yes, and thank you for telling me your favorite about the ex is about the ex.
I mean, no,
that came from experience. Unwritten.
So again, so much of it's like I feel that
thank you
deep in there. So thank you. Blessings on all of the things. Yep, I love the one about the please know your hope has been fulfilled. Thank you all. Blessings for all of you to have an amazing night. Blessings on this book. Blessings to you, Sharifa, and all that you are producing and writing. And may I just pray that you're also, as much as you poured out in this, I pray that your cup is filled for all that you poured out into this and into us in this conversation. It has been a blessing. So I just prayers that goes right back to you and all that you're doing. So thank you. Have an amazing night, everyone. We are so grateful. Katie Geneva Cannon Center for Women's Leadership is promoting the events across our network. So please share. Feel free to do all of the things. We are grateful. Take care. Have an amazing night. You got another so good. Oh, hey, Lane. That was Lane. So thank you all. Take care. Have a good night. Bye.
Good night. Thank